Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. We have reconvened after our closed session. I have the following announcements. By a 5-0 vote, the City Council authorized and directed the City Attorney's Office to defend the cases of Lindman versus the City of Elk Grove and all, as identified by the case number on the City Council meeting agenda. Also by a 5-0 vote, the City Council authorized the City's Attorney's Office to initiate litigation in one matter. The name of the defendants and details are not subject to disclosure at this time. Once litigation is filed, this information will be disclosed to any person upon inquiry. With that, we will adjourn our special meeting at 6 o'clock. And now I'd like to call to order the Elk Grove City Council regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025, and the time is 6 p.m. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. This meeting of the Elk Grove City Council is recorded with closed captioning. The recording will be cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. The recording will also be video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Tonight's meeting replays will be on Friday, December 12th at 1 p.m. and Monday, December 15th, also at 1 p.m. on Metro Channel 14. Once posted, the recordings of this and previous meetings can be viewed on demand at the 3ws.elkgrove.gov or youtube.com/metrocable14. For members of the participating audience who may have personal electronic devices, please place them on silent mode during the meeting or on mute when you are not speaking. The Elk Grove City Council welcomes, appreciates, and encourages participation in the City Council meeting. The City Council requests that you limit your presentation to 3 minutes per person so that all present will have time to participate. The City Council reserves the right to reasonably limit the total time for public comment on any particular noticed agenda item as it may deem necessary. Pursuant to Resolution Number 2010-24, no individual speaker concerning public comment may address the City Council for more than 3 minutes. If you wish to address the Council during the meeting, please complete a blue speaker card, which can be found at the back of the chamber, and provide it to Assistant City Clerk Brenda Haggard prior to consideration of the agenda item. With that, Mayor, I'll be moving into the roll call. And for the roll call, I will start with Councilmember Spies.
Present.
Councilmember Brewer.
Present.
Councilmember Suen.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robles. And Mayor Singh Allen.
Thank you. Next up is our land acknowledgement. Assisting will be Vice Mayor Robles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We honor, respect, and acknowledge Elk Grove First inhabitants, the Plain Miwok, who lived as sovereign caretakers of this land and these waterways since time immemorial. We commemorate and advocate for their descendants, the Wilton Rancheria tribe, the only federally recognized tribe in Sacramento County, who endured because of the bravery, resiliency, and determination of their ancestors, tribal members, and leaders.
I would like to invite up from our Planning Commission, Dr. Suman Singha, to help lead us this evening.
Hand of a heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is our moment of silence. Please join us for a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you. Next up, item 1A, our special action item.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. We have a unique item as we do in the month of December, which is selection of the Vice Mayor and reorganization of the City Council. So we would ask for a motion in a second for the selection of who will be Vice Mayor for the upcoming year. We do have the placards. If you wish to play musical chairs, we can also make the arrangements as your norms of procedure manual dictates out which district seats, how you're seated if there is a move. And so we can also wait to do that in the new year. So, but otherwise, I leave it to any speakers and to the council to decide the Vice Mayor for the upcoming year.
All right, at this time, I will open up the public comment opportunity. Seeing nobody sign up on this, I will close the public comment. And I will look for a motion.
Mayor, I move Councilmember Suen become the Vice Mayor.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much to everybody. Appreciate my colleagues' support. Thank you very much. Great.
Would you like to play musical chairs now, or should we save that for January?
We can wait. That another day won't hurt. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is our approval of the agenda. May I get a motion, please?
So moved.
We have a motion. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item?
And for this evening, under Section 3 for the closed session and Section 4 for presentations and announcements, there are no items under those sections. That will advance us to Section 5, our general public comment.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will open up public comment. We will start with Dr. Suman Singha, followed by Bonnie Stansler.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. I'm here in my capacity as the chair of the Elk Grove Food Bank Board of Directors. Our Executive Director, Marie Giacchino, sends her regrets that she could not be here today. It is her granddaughter's birthday, so it was a tough choice. Each month prior to the federal shutdown, we were serving about 8,000 clients a month at the food bank. A quarter of these clients are young children who are this country's future, and another quarter are senior citizens who, during their working lives, in many cases, worked 1 or 2 jobs in low-wage positions in which there were no retirement benefits. I don't have time to discuss the fact that now they're living on a very meager Social Security benefits that they're getting, but if you have time on your hands, I would recommend everybody read this book called Nickel and Dimed and Not Making America by Barbara Ehrenreich, which talks about the state of the working poor. This book dates back to 2001. Conditions have only gotten worse since then. I'm here today to thank the many people who helped the food bank through the recent crisis caused by the federal government shutdown. We had federal employees who did not get paid. We had folks receiving SNAP recipients who did not receive their benefits. And as a result of this, the number of individuals coming to the food bank for assistance essentially doubled overnight. In the midst of this unforeseen crisis, we reached out to the city manager, Mr. Jason Berman, and I would like to thank him and the Vice Mayor Robles, for meeting with us, listening thoughtfully, and assuring us not to despair. I gather Mr. Berman or Mr. Robles then talked about our dire situation to you, Madam Mayor, and to other members on the council. And I'm here to thank each of you for reaching into your personal and discretionary funds, and to your friends and contacts, and for the immediate relief that we got at the food bank in terms of donations. It has allowed us to reshelf or stock our shelves, and we are now in good shape, even though our numbers currently are running slightly over 1,000 clients larger than they were prior to the government shutdown. The outpouring of support from the community has been unbelievable. All of us at the food bank would like to thank the many generous individuals for caring for those who are less fortunate and allowing us to fulfill our mission and serving those in need. Elk Grove is truly an amazing city with a city council, a city manager, and city staff who care deeply about the well-being of the city and its residents. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Bonnie Stensler, followed by Lynn Wheat.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. For several years, I've served as a city liaison for my Glenbrook HOA. And tonight, on behalf of Glenbrook and myself personally, I would like to wish you all happy holidays. Mayor, council members, city manager, city clerk, city staff, police, fire, all those working behind the scenes. Thank you for continually striving to make the city of Elk Grove the best that it can be. Your dedication and hard work, it's truly recognized and much appreciated. Thank you again, and may 2026 be prosperous for the city of Elk Grove and all its residents. Happy New Year. And congratulations, Darren, as
Thank you
Vice
very
Mayor.
much, Bonnie. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Lynn Wheat.
Good evening. I want to go back in time to around 2006, where the city was working on the zoning code at that particular time, and the Planning Commission was holding some workshops. So a number of us that are no longer present now were at those workshops to help influence what we wanted our city to look like and the direction and quality of life for all of us. Well, at that particular time, they were taking public comment and we were having dialogue back and forth. I suggested that we were going to be having more and more retail centers and other areas that we ought to have bike racks put in our shopping center areas. And one of the planning commissioners at that time says, "Who rides their bike?" Well, I want to thank staff for putting forth the survey, and I most certainly will help them and answer the survey on where we might need bike racks. But to me, that was, I'm a little visionary, ahead of my time, but it's happening now. And I really thank staff for that, because I think the students and the people that ride their bikes will appreciate having a safe spot to park. Also during that time, the city had some surplus property along Sheldon and 99, and I suggested that would be a perfect pocket park for the bicyclists to take a break. So as the Trails Committee has done such a wonderful job in planning our trails, thought the city could do that. Unfortunately, that was passed, and that's not going to happen. But indeed, we are looking forward to creating safe spots for our young people, old people, bike riders. Now we have the electric bikes. I couldn't have thought that we'd have that in 2006, but we're looking at other ways, and I am thankful for the staff moving forward on that. I guess I was just ahead of the times. Lastly, I just would want to follow up on something that I think is important for us all to have an update on, is what is happening with the Slow and Low property and the $450,000 that the taxpayers were supposed to receive back from that default. And I'm hoping either at this meeting or in the new year, we might be updated with that. And maybe even some of that money could be granted to the food bank or some of our other nonprofits within our city as we think of this season. So I want to just again thank staff for the work that they do and some of the things that they're planning that just touch my heart. And I want to wish you all happy holidays, but more importantly, a Merry Christmas. Because if we think of it, it's a season of hope and love, and it doesn't matter what God you pray to, but my God had a Jesus, and thank you, Jesus.
Thank you. That is our final speaker. I just want to address really quickly to Dr. Suman Singha's point, the generosity that came from our community has just been tremendous. Want to do a shout out to a few that really stepped up. The firefighters, Local 522, donated. IBEW, their check $10,000 next week. Plumbers and pipe fitters contributed $7,500. Sheet metal check next week. The Tribe, $50,000 from the Wilton Rancheria. Very proud of them and thanking them for stepping up. Kevin Nagel personally also donated, as well as Sac Republic. Donated $10,000. So just want to thank, I'm sure there's a lot of others. I know there's others that we've all reached out to, but also from the discretionary funds, Kevin Spees, thank you. You could have used it for many other things, so thank you for your generosity. And all of, and you all worked on a bunch of other organizations as well. But it takes a community to step up in times of need, and just really grateful for our extended community. Whether they live in Elk Grove or not, they know the need is great and people were suffering, and just grateful that they stepped up to help our friends and neighbors. So thank you all for that. With that, I will close public comment and move on to our next item, which is our city manager's report.
All right, good evening, Madam Mayor. Our new Vice Mayor, congratulations. And the rest of the City Council, thank you for everything that you do, for all your support. And just to highlight one thing quickly that the Mayor said too, just the total amount that was generated from the city's efforts was over $130,000. The city directly was about $45,000, and then the rest of the entities that the Mayor said. So we're very grateful for all that the food bank does, and we're grateful to be able to participate in the important work that they do. So Let's see. So Saturday, we had our Illumination Festival, and it was amazing. It was a great turnout. We just recently got some information about the number of visitors, and we estimate it was about 10,000 people that attended, which is almost a significant increase over prior years. About half of those people were from the city of Elk Grove, about half are from outside. So we're generating a lot of interest from the entire region, people coming to Elk Grove, which of course also benefits not only the vendors that were there, but we saw a lot of traffic in all the businesses in that whole area, right down to the various shopping centers in that area. So lots of great feedback. We're already starting to think about next year and how we, continue to manage the growing event. But appreciate the council's support, community support, organizations that participated in the event and the parade and the tree lighting, and it was something truly special. So we're proud of that fourth annual illumination. So next year's our fifth, and hopefully the weather. This is always the tricky thing. If the weather holds, we get a great turnout, but you can't predict that. But it was an outstanding event. So thanks to all, and thanks for our wonderful staff, Jody and Kristen, and it's an all hands on deck kind of effort to make that happen. So I wanted to acknowledge them and their efforts to make that, to have it go off flawlessly. So the Elk Grove Police Department and Casumnas Fire Department will bring holiday cheer to over 130 families and approximately 350 children through their annual holiday toy project. New unwrapped toy donations are being accepted at the police department and at the Casumnas Fire Department stations through December 18th. The Shabbat of Elk Grove will host their fourth annual Light Up Elk Grove Hanukkah event this Sunday, December 14th from 2 to 5 at Old Town Plaza. Festivities will include the lighting of a 9-foot LED menorah, latkes, donuts, and other delicious foods and drinks, and activities for the family. It's a free event sponsored by the city. City of Elk Grove is proud to offer a $1,000 scholarship to help local students take the next step toward a career in public service. Working with the Elk Grove Regional Scholarship Foundation, applications are now being accepted. High school seniors living in Elk Grove and planning to attend a 4-year university or a community college as a full-time student may be eligible to apply. Details on the application can be found on the Elk Grove Regional Scholarship Foundation website. And finally, council will be in recess on Wednesday, December 24th, and city facilities will be closed December 24th and December 25th for the Christmas holiday, and December 31st and January 1st for the New Year's holiday. Trash service will operate on delayed holiday schedules those weeks. Next city council meeting will be January 14th. And that concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions the council might have.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Any questions? Looking to the right, looking to the left. Just a couple of comments as it relates to the Illumination Festival. Requests from several when it comes to ADA access. If we can have some sort of closed off areas for those with disabilities so that they don't have to cram with the rest of the families and crowds, and it's a safe space for them. So as we plan this out, if we can factor in the accessibility and having a special section for those in need, that would be great. Thank you. All right, we will move on to our next item, consent calendar items. At this time, I will open up public comment. I do not have anyone signed up to speak. I will close public comment. Any questions? Otherwise, I will look for an approval for consent.
Move consent.
Second?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 8.1, a public hearing.
That's a public hearing to consider resolution adopting amendments to the City of Elk Grove General Plan to update the open space element and the implementation work plan.
Oh, I don't need to do that.
Okay. Good evening, Council. Carrie Whitlock, Long Range Planning. So the item I have before you this evening are amendments to the general plan for 2 sections. One is text amendments to the open space element to ensure city compliance with Senate Bill 1425. The second is updates to the implementation work program document included in the general plan. The city general plan was adopted in 2019 with amendments undertaken regularly, including for maintenance activities to ensure the document remains compliant with state law. In 2022, the state adopted Senate Bill 1425 requiring local jurisdictions to review and update their open space element of the general plan by January 1st, 2026 related to 3 different items. Equitable access to open space for all residents, climate resilience and other co-benefits of open space, and rewilding opportunities. So within the city's general plan, the open space element is primarily addressed within Chapter 7, which is Community and Resources Protection. So staff reviewed the general plan for existing policies and needed edits to meet requirements identified in the legislation. Already existing policies within the general plan are actually included in 3 different chapters: community and resources protection, services, health and safety, and urban and rural development. There are over 20 existing policies were identified that support the 3 open space requirements. In addition, a number of existing policies were identified where text amendments could provide clarifying language to better fit within the scope of the statutory requirements. These changes are all within the Community and Resource Protection chapter, and they include edits to 7 different policies that are outlined in the staff report. 4 additional policies are being proposed to augment the existing policies in the general plan. The new policies are intended to ensure consistency across the statutory requirements and are all within that Community and Resources Protection chapter. Additional text is also proposed to be added in 2 different areas. First, additional language on rewilding opportunities with any future habitat conservation plan that the city might consider is proposed to be added to an existing paragraph on HCPs. Second, adding an additional paragraph for inclusion in the greenhouse gas emissions section, explaining the concept of climate co-benefits and providing some examples. So in addition to the open space amendments, the implementation work program is being updated. The implementation work program, which is included in the general plan as Table 10-1, is the city's primary tool for organizing and tracking implementation efforts. The table includes a series of actions spanning major policy areas, and with each action includes information on the lead city department, supporting partners who would be involved, priority level, and estimated timing for that action. The implementation work program is a dynamic tool that is updated periodically to ensure the priorities remain current and responsive. The updates include removing completed actions, redefining priorities and policy changes since the general plan adoption in 2019, updates to language and progress on actions, and clarification of responsibilities across city departments. With these, no further environmental review is required under state CEQA guidelines section 15061 and 15183. The implementation work program was included with the general plan EIR, and the specific changes included with these amendments are clarifications, updates to language, and removal of completed projects. So neither the open space amendments nor the changes to the implementation work program in and of themselves would result in the possibility of creating significant or cumulative effects on the environment. So finally, staff recommends that the City Council adopt a resolution finding no further environmental review is required and approving the amendments to the city's general plan open space and general plan implementation work program. And with that, I am available for any questions.
All right, thank you for your presentation. I will now declare the public hearing is now open and open up public comment. I do not have anyone signed up on this. I'll close public comment and declare that public hearing is now closed. Any questions? All right, then I will look for a motion.
Move staff's recommendation to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next up, 9.1. is receive the annual report on the City of Elk Grove's homeless shelter.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council members. I'm Sarah Bontrager, your Housing and Public Services Manager. You've seen me here a lot lately talking about the shelter, but it's our future homeless shelter. And tonight we are here to talk about what has happened over the last year with our existing homeless shelter. So as way of background, the current shelter is located on the Calvary Christian Center site. It serves up to 30 adults per night with 5 emergency beds that PD can use to drop off folks that they come across in the community during the day or overnight. The 24/7 operations began November 5th last year, and the shelter is operated by the Gathering Inn, which is a Placer County-based nonprofit that has been our partner for both the Enhanced Winter Sanctuary and for the current iteration of the shelter. The shelter is referral only, so folks cannot walk up to the shelter. They must contact our homeless services navigator who verifies that they have a tie to Elk Grove and then can enter them into the shelter. We do want to lower the barriers for folks who are trying to access shelter, so we of course allow pets and a reasonable amount of belongings. So first and foremost, the shelter provides a safe place to sleep. It also provides 3 meals a day, restrooms, showers, and laundry facilities for guests, and case management. A huge component of the case management is connections to behavioral or mental health services, and help finding housing and moving when people do find housing. And we have a full-time workforce development specialist provided through TGI who helps people to get employment. And then the case managers also transport folks to appointments. So as I mentioned, the Gathering Inn, a huge partner for us, providing the operations. The food bank has provided food donations for breakfast and lunch meals for the last year. Turning Point, which is located just a little bit north of the shelter on East Stockton, does the behavioral health services for many of our guests and also serves as a day center for those guests who want to go there to access resources. And then we have Elk Grove Heart, who provides moving assistance, so deposits and furniture for folks who are moving to their permanent housing opportunity. And then there are dozens and dozens of other nonprofits and faith-based organizations, civic organizations that have provided dinners and donations over the last year. What we've seen, and our police department is here a little bit later to talk about the neighborhood impacts, but we've tried to limit the neighborhood impacts by having frequent drive-throughs by our homeless services navigators and by our police department, and a designated TGI point of contact for resident and business concerns. We will be getting a new shelter manager. Our old one left a month or so ago, and I had the pleasure today of sitting on the interview panel for the new program director, and really some excellent candidates, and so I'm very excited. I think we'll see some great things happening over there, but that is the TGI point of contact for folks. And we've received relatively few neighborhood complaints. There have not been none, but it's been very limited. So overall, 93 people have stayed at least one night at our shelter in the last year. Average of 24 people per night were enrolled, and almost 9,400 bed nights. If we were to rent motel rooms for everyone, we would have rented 9,400 motel rooms. We saw guests ranging in age from 19 to 74. 27% of our guests were 55 or older. That is something that we are considering in our program strategies moving forward. And some of you were at the ribbon cutting for the Adams Townhouse recently, which is permanent housing for seniors, shared housing opportunity. And our hope is that we'll be able to serve some of the folks in that age range with housing that's less than $600 a month for a room. We had 64 men, 28 women, and 1 non-binary person, and 3 veterans, most of which were quickly moved to other opportunities. Veterans have a lot of resources available to them. More than half of our guests had a disability, and 23% had a chronic health condition. All of the guests who lived in the shelter for any period of time reported that they came from a vehicle or outdoors prior to entering the shelter. And a little over half of them were unhoused for more than a year prior to entering the shelter. We had some great successes, and this is due to the partnership with TGI and with Elk Grove Heart and all the other providers that have stepped in to help us get folks moved on. 14 people moved to permanent housing. That's affordable housing complexes, room and board, family, friends, market rate housing. We had an additional 6 households that left us for family or friends, but we weren't sure if that was forever or for a time, and so that is marked differently as temporary. But that brings us to 20 overall people. 54% of our guests were referred to behavioral health services, either at Turning Point or another provider. And about 25% of them were ultimately successfully linked to a behavioral health provider and receiving the medications that they need to stabilize. And a great statistic that we have: employment. Many people assume that people experiencing homelessness are not working. In fact, we saw 7 people come into the shelter with jobs, and 12 people found new or better employment while they were at the shelter, a testament to their own individual efforts, but also to our workforce specialist at the TGI team who helped us to get resumes out for folks, to prepare them for interviews. We had 1 person get a job at Kubota, actually, and a few folks get jobs in our fast food restaurants. So local jobs and lots of partnership. Lots of community support, as I said, so 740 meals donated by the food bank, and then 278 serve partner meals. Those are dinners provided by faith-based civic groups, and so about 5 per week is what that works out to. We continued to work with folks in the shelter, having a very close partnership with TGI. We know that not everyone will stay in the shelter until they get housing. Some folks will leave for whatever reason, so we wanted to maintain those relationships so that we could work with them if they were exited or chose to leave, and then get them back into the shelter when they were ready the next time. And then we will have Elk Grove Heart here to highlight some of their successes and share some photos with you. But they did provide move-on assistance to 8 shelter guests. They provided both deposits and furniture, and they'll have some photos of the apartments that folks moved into. And so I will now turn the presentation over to Josh Magdaleno from our police department to share some shelter neighborhood statistics.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and community members. I'm Lieutenant Josh Magdaleno with the Elk Grove Police Department, and I'm here to share the police department's perspective and our homeless outreach team's perspective on the shelter's first full year of operation. From a law enforcement standpoint, the shelter has become an essential tool for our frontline officers. When an officer encounters someone who has no safe place to go, we now have a real option. We maintain 5 emergency beds specifically for patrol use, and over the past year, we've used those beds 25 times. That's 25 individuals that were brought into a safe, supervised environment for the night instead of being left outside. Right now, we also have 8 to 10 shelter guests who are actively moving towards transitional or permanent housing, and our outreach team and navigator staff are working closely together to support those moves, and that progress is encouraging. One of the most significant impacts we've seen at the city is the reduction of encampments. Since the shelter opened, Elk Grove has experienced a 65% decrease in homeless encampments within the city limits. That reduction is meaningful for public health, neighborhood safety, and for the officers who respond to those areas. With fewer encampments, the amount of debris collected during our bi-weekly cleanups has also dropped dramatically by over 40,000 pounds this year. That's a clear indicator that the shelter is helping shift people away from unmanaged outdoor spaces into safer, more stable environments. We also look seriously at the police activity around the shelter. We focused on a 0.3 mile radius and compared the year before the opening of the shelter to the first year after. And during the first year, there were 711 calls for service compared to 595 calls the previous year, an increase of 9.1%. Now, increases in calls can sound concerning, but the important thing to point out is what's actually driving that number. The increase is largely tied to one call type, and that's suspicious trespassing. Those calls rose by 115%, and they were concentrated mostly in the commercial areas south of the shelter, the Walmart area and the Elk Village Shopping Center. So the key takeaway here is the shelter itself is not creating a crime burden. What we're seeing is activity in a common commercial corridor where people naturally travel, and the data cannot specifically tell us that how many of those calls are directly related to shelter guests or the shelter. When we isolate calls that come directly from the shelter, the numbers of calls are low and very manageable. Over the past year, the shelter generated 51 public-initiated calls. 6 of those were from members of the public, 32 from the shelter employees, and 13 from shelter guests. And the fact that most of the calls come from employees shows that the gathering end is proactive in managing issues early and reaching out appropriately when they need police support. They've created a stable, well-run environment, and we appreciate that partnership. So overall, from a police department perspective, the shelter has helped us reduce encampments across the city, improve neighborhood conditions, and given our officers a compassionate and immediate alternative when engaging with people in crisis. The data tells a clear story that the shelter is working and is stable, and that the crime impacted in the surrounding area is very minimal, if at all. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
We'll probably save them for all to the end. Yep.
All right. Next, we'll end on a high note. I'll invite Debbie Shana Safer and Frank Lucia of Elk Grove Heart to come up and share some photos from some of our success stories.
Mayor Singh Allen and council members, thank you for this opportunity to speak before you. Frank and I founded Elk Grove Heart 15 years ago and highly value the partnership with Sarah Bontrager and you, the city, as we join in developing and implementing new programs to support the unsheltered in our community. In review of what the shelter has meant to our unhoused, it has been a place to escape the elements, especially on cold nights like tonight. It is not about comfort. 20 to 30 people died on the streets of Sacramento last year due to, a lot of them due to hypothermia. The shelter is a place where the unhoused can get a hot meal and stretch out to get a good night's sleep. The use of a bathroom with a hot shower helps to stabilize them and prepare them to look for employment. And so many are doing just that, successfully finding employment and housing to transition out of the shelter. To qualify for an apartment, you need to have 3 months consecutive employment. Rachel accomplished this by working long hours at a fast food restaurant. She now has been reunited with her 3 children and is anticipating the merriest of Christmases. The caseworkers at the shelter know to call Heart for assistance with obstacles that may be in the way of their guests' success. The requests often include a bike to get to work, appropriate clothes for an interview or work, heavy boots so they can work outside, and those often have to be steel-toed boots, which are expensive. A bike and appropriate clothes can make the difference in turning their lives around. It has helped Jake, who's in the next slide, get a job with an equipment rental company where he is thriving. He and his fiancee, who is also at the shelter and working at Walmart, will soon be qualified for an apartment of their own. He has a deposit on a ring. Truly a Christmas to celebrate their bright future. But what about those that have struggled most of their lives? The chronically homeless. Several have gotten housing this year, even though they fully believed that they would die on the streets. Heart, along with our community partners, churches, and service groups, have helped them to settle into their apartments with furnishings to make their places feel like home. We're happy to report that they are stable and keeping their apartments immaculate. They often ask for little additions like crock pots and pictures to hang on their walls, and of course, a Christmas tree. They are taking pride in their places, and they are deeply appreciative of a home to call their own. Having worked with them for years, we are thrilled to see them safe and stable. The shelter is so much more than just a Band-Aid. It is truly an opportunity for them to turn their lives around. We are so proud of our community and the support and compassion they have shown to those at the shelter. On a regular basis, they provide dinners, activities, and recently, thanks to Lynn and her friend, a Christmas tree that they decorated with the guests. These things do so much more than just feed them, provide decorations and entertainment. It shows them that people still care, that there is still good in this world, and that people are willing to give them yet another chance at life. It encourages them to be better and stronger.
To conclude, providing shelter and resources for those in need in the city of Elk Grove brings the community together for a common cause. Elk Grove Heart, the food bank, local churches, and service organizations working together with city government have developed a model that is the envy of other cities in our region. We look forward to continuing this outstanding relationship. We thank you for your support.
Great. That concludes the staff presentation. We are all available to answer questions. We also do have, if you have questions for TGI, we have Keith Diedrich and Nick Golling in the audience.
Excellent. All right, at this time, I'm going to open up public comment opportunity. I don't have anyone signed up, so I'll close public comment. I'm just going to kick this off. First and foremost, Elk Grove Heart, thank you. Sincerely, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's our nonprofits that we need to fill that void, and the work that you have done has really provided hope for our vulnerable population. So thank you. That partnership is critical, especially now more than ever. I loved hearing the statistics from Elk Grove PD. It shows that the shelter is working, and we're providing stabilization for these families, for these individuals to get back on their feet. So thank you for sharing those stats. I think that was really important, not only for me, but also for those that might be watching or who will read later on, that it's working. This is a safe place, and it's a much needed place. Seeing that reduction in encampments, those are huge numbers worthy of celebration. You know, it's freezing out there, and it's just so comforting knowing that there is a safe place, a warm place where you can have that human dignity. So I just really appreciate all the work that we're doing. And then, of course, to the Gathering Inn, thank you. Great partnership. It's been wonderful. And seeing and hearing all of these success stories, it's not just a statistic. These are real people moving on to a brighter future. So thank you for all the great work that you're doing. Other questions, comments from my colleagues? I'll start to the left. Vice Mayor Suen.
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to echo a lot of your sentiments. You know, I appreciate the compliments that were shared for the city, but I want to also emphasize the partnership. You know, and Sarah, thank you to you and your team. been instrumental in leading this effort from the city side as well. But when we look at Heart gathering in, the food bank, the church, the service organizations, everybody that Frank mentioned, it really does take a village. The issue of homelessness in our city that affects almost every city throughout the nation, people struggle with this. And albeit I realize our scale may not be as much as others, but we still are facing the situation nonetheless. And I think the partnership and the results that you heard earlier from Josh Magdaleno, it really does illustrate that the concept we are implementing works. But what's important about that is the hope that we can turn the tide in terms of the perception of the demographic, of the things like a homeless shelter, setting it up in our community that some people may not like, but now maybe they'll realize that not only is it necessary, but it actually ends up reducing crime. It actually ends up reducing the number of encampments throughout the city. And at the end of the day, we are helping our community have dignity, be able to have a roof over their head, and from the results here, move on with their lives, whether, it was the couple that is finding more permanent employment, or the mom who's reunited with her children. I mean, those are fantastic stories, let alone folks who will save lives. So I'm really heartened by all these statistics and look forward to the more good that we can do in the years to come. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to echo the same comments. Thank you. Thank you for saying yes to our city. Thank you for the nonprofits. A lot of times you are the face of all this hard work, and it doesn't go unseen. You are doing everything that we can't do at that level. And just thank you for having that big heart. The lives that you're transforming on a day-to-day basis, the lives that you are touching. And thank you to our public safety, because you are definitely keeping our city safe, ensuring that the numbers do go down, and that's a partnership, and that's what community looks like. We can be up here and we can try to figure it out, but you guys are doing it day to day. So thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Brewer?
Thank you, Mayor. No, I want to thank everyone involved in this. It's a group effort, and as we take care of those who need the help the most, we always need to do what we can to stretch a little farther, because that makes things a little easier, not only for our law enforcement, and thank you to Lieutenant Magdaleno for the numbers, because those numbers show progress and it shows the power of having a shelter in our community that can serve the needs of our homeless populations, especially as we enter the months where the weather's going to get a little more colder, a little more severe. We need to do everything we can to make sure that people have a place to rest and not worry about having their lives endangered on a daily basis. I want to thank Elk Grove Heart for doing their part, continuing to do their part, and stepping up and taking care of our homeless population and making sure that they make the transition from being on the streets to being back on their own. Is definitely worthy of consideration, but also a yeoman's effort, because Elk Grove Heart's been doing this for several years now, and it is not going unnoticed. But for Keith Dieterich and the team at the Gathering Inn, and Christian, who's there on the daily basis as well, I want to thank you, because if you weren't here providing that service and providing the care and attention that is needed, a lot of our folks would still be struggling. And I mean struggling in a major way, because we see it along our creeks, our trailways. They're in the invisible places. And to bring them out into the light and to provide that hand up means the world. Means the world to them, but also means the world to us as a city council, but also as the city itself, because I've always said this, and I'll continue to say this. We are our brother and sister's keeper, period, full stop. And we need to do everything we can to take care of our fellow man, because that's the right thing to do. But thank you again, and great job.
Councilmember Spies?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this issue of homelessness is, as I mentioned in the past, is something that's personal for me, because I have a family member who's been living on the river now for 8 years, and so I recognize as someone who has a family member who needs this type of help. I recognize that it's difficult to ask community to step up and to take help people to do this, right? So what I want to first recognize is this is a very expensive endeavor. When we look at what the cost of homelessness has on our state, our city, across the United States, it's a significant investment. And so, first and foremost, I would really like to thank our taxpayers. A couple of years ago, our taxpayers said, you know what, managing homelessness is an important priority for us. And as a result, we have Measure E. And those tax dollars have been very helpful in helping us to move the needle, just as has been discussed today. So I'll start, I already started, but to go further, I want to talk about the evolution of E.G. Hart, because I'll tell you what, maybe not everyone remembers, but 15 years ago, E.G. Hart wasn't necessarily well received. And there were a lot of people who had very unkind opinions of E.G. Hart. And so I want to say thank you for sticking to it. Thank you for the continuous evolution. Thank you for being visionary and to essentially form or start the basis of what our homeless program has become. It used to be, moving every 2 weeks from one church to another, transporting people from Old Town Elk Grove to different places, and having to have chaperones overnight, and then during COVID couldn't bring them into a location. What I'm saying is the continuous evolution and the stick-to-itiveness of E.G. Hart has set a standard throughout the valley. People were very, once it became established and growing, people became very, very jealous of that, and other cities started it. But I'm very, very proud that with our Measure E funds, we are able to continue to evolve that. And so, again, I want to recognize the both of you very much and thank you for starting it and having that intestinal fortitude when others had not kind things to say about you, right? Big thanks to TGI. I mean, it's a difficult business, right? But your employees, the caseworkers, people who help, they care, and that shows, and it's appreciated. PD, I even remember a few years ago, people said, law enforcement is not a tool for homelessness, and that's only part right? It's PD, public safety, or law enforcement is not the full solution, but they're a very, very important part of the solution. And often when things get difficult, as they sometimes do with the population, I want to thank you very much for treating them with compassion, for helping them to find their way to a shelter or to find their way home. Unfortunately, a small group has to go at the difficult way and seek other county accommodations, right? But I'm glad that we go compassion first. So I want to thank you for that. Sarah and Jimeno, again, I'm not always in straight agreement with Sarah. But what I love about you, Sarah, is that you continue to challenge, you continue to, say, all right, but what about this? How can we do this? And so, anyone else I'm forgetting on your team, I sincerely apologize, but, we've really moved the needle, and I appreciate that. Food bank, of course, it can't be done without them. And then the last group that I really I want to note is that, well, of course, Public Works does a lot of work in cleaning up the encampments in cooperation with PD. But I also want to thank the Elk Grove Anti-Trash Group that does a whole lot of residual cleanup. They're unpaid, highly motivated. But man, I'll tell you what, in the last year, I have had a number of people who, without being solicited, have said, man, I tell you what, I see less encampment, I see less litter, and Elk Grove is looking cleaner and better. And those are not my words, those are the words that come from them. So, long story short, I know we don't want to go on and on forever, but yeah, we have less than 2% of the county's population here. We can't solve the problem, but we can manage the problem. I think we're managing it very, very well, and that's because of the city team, and by that I mean the city and the community and everyone together. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. All right, we will move on to our next item. That is 9.2. Receive a presentation on the old library site reuse project and provide direction on the proposed plans for community outreach and engagements.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, Jackie Guzman, Assistant City Manager, and I'm here with our Senior Management Analyst, Ash Kumar, and we are here today to discuss the library site reuse project to determine the future use of the building before the library moves to its new location in the summer of 2026. And tonight, we're here to gather your input on our proposed process for determining how the library should be repurposed and validate the overall big picture approach before we start initiating our public engagement. All right. So, this opportunity is really to transform an asset to meet Elk Grove's evolving needs. This is really a process we hope will allow us to co-create with our residents to ensure that the final solution enriches civic life and is designed to ensure alignment with City Council's vision and priorities. This is a really unique opportunity. It's at a prime, the library is at a prime gateway location, offering a chance to provide lasting value to our residents. And really, this is a unique opportunity for us to do something different than we normally do in terms of our public engagement process, which is really to co-create with our residents. So what does that mean? Co-creation means that we're going to put our residents at the center, allowing them to generate ideas and to design the future use of the library along with city staff, instead of city staff designing and asking the community for input on options. So this is a different approach than we have used, but it really allows us to have a deeper understanding of community needs, to provide outcomes that are better and more relevant. It increases innovation, and it builds stronger relationships with and trust with our community. So our co-creation engagement process has 4 objectives. They're to develop a feasible, inclusive vision with the community to improve the quality of life as we develop solutions, and to align directly with the City Council's vision and ensure broad community benefit. And now I'm going to pass it on to Ash. She's going to share the project parameters, timeline, and details on the project phases.
Thank you, Jackie.
Good evening, council members. So there are some special considerations that we'll have to keep in mind. The current Elk Grove Library building is situated, as you know, at the corner of Elk Grove Boulevard and Elk Grove Florin Road, and was purchased by the city in 2006. The 2-story building is 13,875 square feet, situated on a 0.88 acre parcel with 45 parking spaces. So these are major considerations which are to maintain the existing building footprint, to retain the current number of parking spaces, to uphold the current community commercial zoning, and to preserve the existing facade and building height. Moving on to the timeline, so this is what we are proposing. Right now, we are in the preparation phase. Phase 1, where we are defining the goals, preparing materials, including some initial reuse scenarios so that there is a starting point, and we will review these with you. The main public effort is phase 2, which, as Jackie mentioned, that's the community co-creation element, and that we are thinking will happen in the summer of 2026. Phase 3 is the analysis and decision phase, which will happen later in 2026, as the building will not be available until July or August of 2026. Just to dive a little deeper into the actual timeline, what it will entail, phase 1 is where we'll review special considerations, the objectives. We'll also develop a lot of visual aids, so the floor plans, site photographs, and once again, we'll have specific scenarios for the community to consider, and we'll also develop a lot of engaging activities to capture the community's needs and desires for this location. Phase 2, community engagement. This is again where the co-creation happens with a lot of broad engagement through in-person and online activities. The community will ideate, we'll generate a lot of ideas, we'll prioritize and evaluate the concepts, and of course, we'll keep providing council updates throughout the process. Phase 3, once again, analysis and decision. So this is beginning fall 2026. This is where we'll refine the top options that come up from the community and city council input. We'll provide some preliminary cost estimates and feasibility findings at this stage. And we'll also present the top choices again and a recommended path to move forward. There is some flexibility. We can return to the community if we need additional input at that stage as well. If not, if we have solid top 2 choices, then we can proceed with those with council approval. I'll pass it back to Jackie to go over the next steps.
Thank you, Ash. So we welcome your input on the process. We're seeking direction from City Council to formally adopt this framework and initiate the public engagement efforts in early 2026. Your guidance today will allow us to refine the process and prepare for the soft launch of the community co-creation phase. And with that, that concludes our presentation, and we're happy to answer any of your questions or take comments on this proposed plan.
All right, thank you. I will go ahead and open up public comment. No one signed up to speak on this item. I will close public comment. Open it up for questions. I'll start to the right. Councilmember Spies.
I don't have any questions. I had the opportunity to have heard the presentation before, and I appreciate it. I agree with it. I'm happy for it. I'd love to have the opportunity for residents to have opportunity to weigh in early. And so I definitely support the approach. Thank you.
Councilmember Brewer, anything?
Yeah, no, I thank you for the review and the timeline for what everything will look like over the next few months. Very, very interested in seeing us as we make the transition from the corner of Elk Grove Boulevard and Elk Grove Flooring down to Waterman and Elk Grove Boulevard, and to seeing how the ideas from the community help shape what that site can be, and how it can fit perfectly into the city and how we're moving forward. So very thankful for that. We are hearing some early ideas, but it'll be good to hear the entire community and providing their input to help give us a little bit of guidance on how it should look and what it should look like, and for the community as a whole, because you definitely want that strong community benefit. But definitely looking forward and happy to help in any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Robles?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just thank you for the presentation, looking to get community buy-in and looking forward to see what comes out of this.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, again, thank you also for this. I'm looking forward to see what our community comes up with. As we talked about, just making sure so we can kind of put some bands around it. They know everybody agrees on who we're trying to serve, what demographic, and also I think that'll be helpful in the brainstormings. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we've also had an opportunity to have discussions on this, so I'm looking forward. I think you've outlined a really great process, so looking forward to sort of the next steps. What I am curious about is, will there be an opportunity for, say, communities, several members from the community suggest maybe selling it? Are we prepared to have that kind of a, do we have an appraised value? Do we have any information that would also be available, not just for a reuse for our purposes, but perhaps, I'm not saying I'm an advocate, but I'm just wanting to make sure that we have the information should we need it.
I think that there are some parameters that we can't change, right? We can't change the size of the building and, the number of parking spots. That's sort of fixed. Things like parameters around the opportunity to sell it, or no, this must remain an asset of the cities. Those are parameters that council can, direct staff to consider. So it really is up to you. We're here to gather your feedback. It can be as open as possible, or have more parameters depending on what council's direction is.
All right, well, I think for me, I'm looking forward to seeing what the feedback comes back at, and maybe determining parameters at that time when it's more appropriate.
Yeah, and it can really be when we start seeing what the community is sharing as opportunities, and if that's something that rises because there is, an outside entity that wants to do something unique with the space, then that's something we would bring to council.
Yep. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
We will move on to our next item, 9.3. Receive a presentation on the city's progress implementing requirements of SB 1383 and achievements of the Edible Food Recovery Working Group.
I've not seen my presentation on the screen.
And did you send that over to us? Because we don't see it on the iDrive, so.
Apologies. It should have come through. Let me pull it up. Apologies. Oh, it needs to be on the iDrive. My deepest apologies. Many members of my team are dealing with bereavements this week, so we've been pulling things together. Let's see. What is the best way for me to go? If it's not on the iDrive right now. I do.
Yeah, if you can, or just email it, and
Pardon,
then we
give
can
me
get it
just a
set
moment.
up, so.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. No, I got it. I'm hearing murmurs over there of email being faster. Maybe I'll go that route. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. And feel free to let me know if there's a faster way to get to email here. Should it come up automatically? To my work. Apologies. I sent it to myself. Should I send it to you, Jason?
Indeed, Jay
Apologies.
Lindgren, yeah. That'll work.
All right, Jason, that should be coming your way.
Working at the speed of an internet connection, apparently.
Absolutely.
So it's taking its time.
While we're waiting for their presentation to come up, I'd love to say that I'm very excited to present on this item tonight, and it connects in so well with so many of the incredible themes we've been hearing tonight about people and place, food insecurity, sustainability. It's close to my heart, so I'm glad to be here. Jason, let me know if you need me to do anything on my
We're
end.
en route, so here it comes. Here we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Sorry, I'll just be doing a little bit of driving here. Oops.
Feel free. Right on the top.
And there we are, a connected city. So hopefully that should be able to open up on from the desktop, and you should be ready to go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jason. Oh. All right, we are in business. Good evening, Mayor Singh Allen, members of the City Council. I'm very excited to be here tonight. My name is Kim Taylor, and I manage the city's Recycling and Waste Division, which is part of Public Works. The item I'm presenting before you tonight is an update on the city's work to implement Senate Bill 1383, California's short-lived climate pollution reduction strategy. It's a mouthful, but essentially it's trying to keep organics out of the garbage to reduce the amount of methane that's being produced in landfills. Senate Bill 1383 requires all California jurisdictions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from landfills by implementing programs that reduce organic waste and promote a circular economy for recycled organic waste products. This includes reducing the amount of residential and commercial organic waste, including food, that's disposed of in landfills, procuring a minimum quantity of recycled organic waste products annually, and recovering edible food from commercial generators for donation so it can be used for its highest value, to feed people. These objectives align with those of the city's climate action plan, as well as the city's overarching goals of facilitating a sustainable economy and promoting a safe and resilient community. The city's efforts to implement Senate Bill 1383 kicked off in 2022 with the expansion of the curbside residential organics collection program to include food waste in the green organics cart along with yard debris. Since that launch, the city has provided residents with ongoing resources, education, and outreach to promote the behavior change of separating food waste from garbage and to normalize that practice across Elk Grove. These efforts have included utilizing a variety of media resources for messaging and education, distributing over 13,000 kitchen top pails to Elk Grove residents, and partnering with Republic Services to conduct regular route audits and contamination monitoring to understand how residents in Elk Grove are disposing of their organic food waste and other materials. For commercial and multifamily generators, staff conduct site visits and inspections, provide technical assistance and education, and monitor compliance with required organics collection, record keeping, and contamination standards. Staff also support edible food generators, including grocery stores and restaurants, in meeting requirements for food donation through outreach, inspection, and assistance, establishing food recovery agreements with food recovery organizations. In addition to requiring residents and businesses to separate food and other organics from trash to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, Senate Bill 1383 also requires jurisdictions to procure and utilize recycled organic waste products such as compost and mulch. This component of Senate Bill 1383 is intended to facilitate a sustainable circular economy in which inedible food is turned into compost or other recycled organic waste products, which are then utilized to advance sustainable management of natural resources. In Elk Grove, we're committed to this goal of advancing sustainable management of natural resources, and we want to ensure the city's investment in recycled organic waste products provides local benefits. This past year, the city piloted a community compost giveaway program, which has been incredibly popular with Elk Grove residents and has facilitated closing the loop by bringing compost made from recycled organic waste back into our community to nourish people's gardens and landscaping. The city also began utilizing SB 1383 compliant compost as well as mulch for landscaping in locations around the homeless shelter, animal shelter, special waste collection center, corp yard, and PD facilities. This is another way the city is closing the loop to create a circular economy with recycled organic waste product that bring direct local benefits to Elk Grove. In addition to advancing SB 1383 requirements on a local level, the city has participated in an innovative and impactful collaboration on a regional level to increase the recovery of edible food and reduce food insecurity across Sacramento County. This collaboration between 7 jurisdictions has resulted in the Capital Food Access Alliance, which serves to strengthen regional food recovery capacity, develop shared reporting tools, and provide consistent outreach and technical assistance for generators. Through the CFAA, Capital Food Access Alliance grant program, 29 organizations have expanded their capacity to recover food and get it to people in need through expanding capacity, operational efficiency, and community collaboration. 15 of those 29 organizations are utilizing grant funding to serve communities and address food insecurity here in Elk Grove. And I'm proud to say that 2 of the organizations funded are physically based in Elk Grove, Todo Un Poco and Almizba. In fiscal year 24-25, the Capital Food Access Alliance awarded over $2 million in grant funding to organizations advancing food recovery in Sacramento County. While the impact of those grants will largely occur in the first half of next year, as they were awarded this past fall, over 3 million pounds of good food that might otherwise have ended up in the landfill have already been safely recovered and used to feed people through this grant program in Sacramento County. The city's work to implement the requirements of SB 1383 is well underway and helping to advance the city's goals of facilitating a sustainable economy and promoting a safe and resilient community. Our next steps include increasing program participation through continued education and oversight, expanding the city's procurement programs to significantly increase the amount of compost and mulch being utilized in Elk Grove, and presenting recommendations to continue the city's participation in efforts to expand regional capacity for recovering edible food through the work of the Capital Food Access Alliance beyond 2026, which is the current end date. Thank you, and please let me know what questions you have about the city's work implementing SB 1383.
All right, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
At this time, I will open up public comment. I do not have anyone sign up to speak. I'll close public comment. Questions, comments? I'll go to the left. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. No questions, but thank you also for the presentation. Nice to see how the progress we're making to comply with 1383.
Councilmember Robles?
Thank you, Mayor. Just thank you for the presentation and thank you for allowing us to know what we're doing with food insecurity and everything else. Appreciate it.
Any questions to the right? Comment?
Just a real quick one. A couple years back, Senate Bill 1383 was a very, very troubling, difficult to implement program, caused a lot of consternation from a lot of places. And so I want to thank you, and of course, for folks who have been doing recycling waste earlier. But thank you for making it all make sense, helping to reduce the organics in our landfill. It's appreciated. I know that Marie, I just forgot her name at Toto and Poco. She's going to kill me. Marie Mertz. Yeah. She has been she's been an advocate for a very, very long time, trying to divert food from going into trash cans. And so I'm really glad to see that she's an active part of it. So I want to thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you to my colleagues. Great presentation. It's great to see changed behavior, even in my own household. I would imagine all your households on just being less wasteful. So this is great progress. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to item 9.4.
And that's to receive information and consider resolution confirming city council appointments to regional boards, commissions, committees, and local and city standing committees. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I'm Jason Lindgren, your city clerk. These last two items on our agenda for tonight are housekeeping items. As far as I know, I don't know of any changes. We do have just inherent changes for local representation, as we have a new vice mayor coming up in the new year for all of the service on 2x2 committees with our various counterparts here, just locally here in Elk Grove. But the ask from staff is just for a review as we come into the December month. Sometimes you have that can forecast forward into the 2026 year if you have any obligations that might take away from your ability to serve on some of our regional boards. This is an opportunity, but staff would have the ask that you also just adopt a resolution, even just to confirm all the current representation. It helps with my transaction with all my counterparts to make sure that we run everything smoothly and have you ready for meetings and going into 2026.
All right, thank you for the update on that. I'll open up public comment. No one signed up. I'll close public comment. Is there a desire from anyone to make any shifts? Seeing none? Is that all you need?
Just a motion and a second on the resolution that will
For
just
status
confirm
quo.
that everything stays the same.
Yeah.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 9.5.
Thank you for that. And 9.5 takes us to the list of local appointments. So this is for all of the appointees to all of our committees and commissions. There is no change that's being requested, and part of it, just for the broadcast for the council's edification, is it's not until next year that we'll actually see those initial terms coming up. And that is basically that the outreach would start in December, letting folks know of that opportunity to reapply as we get into the new year of 2027. So still quite a ways out. But this is just our local appointments list. So if there is any kind of direction that you wish to provide, what I'd like to put out there from the staff request is, again, just like touching base with council about forecasting as folks wind down 2025 and then look to their obligations in 2026. Staff's found it valuable to reach out to all of our committees and commissions to confirm that they have the fortitude to move forward into 2026 in their current appointed capacities. And if not, then we'd open up opportunities for appointments and bring those to you in the new year.
All right, well, at this time, I will not make any change recommendations since you haven't heard back from anyone wishing to make any change.
Yeah.
Let's keep them and thank them all for their service.
You gotta do public comment.
Yes, I do. I'd like to open up public comment. There is no one signed up. I'll close public comment and then reiterate that my desire to reappoint them all. And any other questions on that one? That one doesn't require a motion, so the direction is status quo. All right, next up is our council comments, reports, future agenda items. I'll start to the right. Councilmember Spies.
I will make it quick. We have a lot to be thankful for as the year closes up. I just want to reflect very briefly on that Elk Grove is moving in a very, very good direction. It is because our taxpayers trust us. It is because our staff is moving in the right direction, and we have a lot to be thankful for in that manner. So with that, happy holidays. As I would say, Merry Christmas. Lynn, Merry Christmas. And happy holidays, and I look forward to seeing you all in January.
Councilmember Brewer.
So Monday, Sacramento Public Library Authority Board met briefly. Just as we made our quorum, we made an assurance that we would take care of business, and we did. And also, in addition, we had our Sacramento Regional Transit Board meeting, Authority Board meeting, also late, about an hour later. And so we had a really good meeting there, albeit brief, but I'd like to echo the same sentiments as Councilmember Spees, and express sincerest gratitude to all of you here at the city, and most importantly to Elk Grove. It's like I said, it's been an honor and a privilege to be here and serve you for the last 3 years, and I look forward to 2026, and I hope you're all looking forward to a brighter 2026 as well. So thank you very much, and happy holidays.
Councilmember Robles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to wish everyone happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. 2026 is going to be an amazing year, so Happy New Year. And you guys enjoy it. I'm going to keep on saying Happy New Year even next December, all right? But in all seriousness, I think Councilmember Spees said it right. We are in a good position because I want to go to our city leadership and city executive staff. You guys are just the ones who are keeping steer the ship in the right direction, and we truly appreciate. We appreciate our public safety. Thank you for everything you do for our community and making sure that we are staying safe. And just, again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple business items. First, we had our SAC sewer meeting today, Councilmember Robles and I, and one of the things that came up were on the Harvest Water Project, which all of you, I think, are familiar about, but the farmers and our partners down there, Supervisor Hume brought to our attention the delicate nature of things that are happening, and so we're hoping to reach out to them and have good conversations and to further that partnership to make sure that water is available. I bring that to your attention because as you're out in the community, you may come across folks, and this may come up. So I just want to make my colleagues aware of that. Then for SACOG, I'm finishing up my chair role this year. It's been a quick year. One of the last actions, though, really excited that we were able to adopt the 2025 blueprint. That's the guiding document for the 6-county, 22-city region on equity, economy, and the environment. And so won't get on the wonkiness of that, but you'll remember Executive Director Corliss came and talked to our council about that blueprint and the significance of that document. And then finally, just want to echo some sentiments that were mentioned earlier. Just really grateful serving with my colleagues here and all the staff. We have had a great many years, and this is very similar. It was a great 2025 for our city, and so really excited for what 2026 will bring as well. Happy holidays to all of you and your families, and thank you all for what you do for our city, our staff, my council colleagues. You see us up here, but we know, all of us know, you sacrifice for your families as well. And we greatly appreciate all the efforts you put forward every day here at the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to my colleagues. Quick business items. Tomorrow is the GSEC Board of Directors, so I'll be representing the city of Elk Grove. And then Monday was SAC-RT, and I'm now the new chair for Sacramento Regional Transit.
Yeah.
There's more work. But as we wrap up 2025, a sincere wish to all of you watching, those that are here, especially my colleagues and our amazing staff. I feel truly every single day that I am the luckiest mayor in the state of California, maybe in the United States. Mm-hmm. We have the best council, we have the best staff, and we have the best community. And it is, as an immigrant to this country, I don't take, this opportunity lightly. This is something that as our immigrants are suffering out there, our refugees are suffering, that empathy right now that is part of the holiday spirit. Any religion you talk about, it's that kindness and that compassion to give and reach out and help those that are less fortunate, those that are marginalized, those that are hurting. May this season reconnect us to our shared humanity and let us go do good things together. My wish for all of you is to be safe and to be healthy. Thank you all so much for making my job so much easier. Team Elk Grove is amazing. We are truly lucky. So stay safe, be healthy, and cheers to 2026. Looking forward to the next year. With that, we will adjourn our regular meeting at 7:30 p.m. Good night.
All right.